Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hi, how are you? I pray that everyone is having a blessed day. Come on in, like, comment, share. If you're on YouTube, hit that little notification button so you can be notified when I go live. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Good morning. Come on in. Hello, everyone. I am Monique White of Triumph Services, a consulting and coaching firm where I help single professional moms replace their full-time income with a part-time hustle. Come on in. We are going to continue on in our series, Banishing Self-Sabotage. Banishing Self-Sabotage. This is day 6, the 6th installment in the series. And we are going to talk about today letting go of that which doesn't serve you. That which doesn't serve you. So come on in, grab your paper, your pencil, your computer if you take digital notes, and let's just dive on in. Banishing Self-Sabotage, episode 6. Overcoming and banishing that which does not serve you. Now, what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? What does that look like? That means and looks like holding on to things such as anger, guilt, shame, doubt. It is an attachment to a person, place, thing, emotion that serves no legitimate need anymore or purpose, anymore. It's those things that set up residence in your head that are taking up space without paying rent, so to speak. It's kind of like those clothes which you keep in your closet. You know those clothes, especially my ladies, that are too small, that you just know that one day you are going to fit into, so you keep them rather than giving them away or throwing them out. Lies you tell yourself, because you know full good and well, I'm going to speak for myself, I have clothes in my closet that I know full good and well that I am never going to get back in. It's holding on to those things. It's kind of like, remember that show Hoarders? People that had bags and bags of stuff in their house because they can't let go of it. So what happens? It piles on and it piles on and it piles on. And it's taking up all this space where they barely can maneuver in their own home. That's what I'm talking about. Things that no longer serve you. And why do we do this? Why does this become a problem? Because in the beginning, these feelings, these emotions, these attachments originally served a legitimate purpose. They served a normal purpose. For example, anger. For example, fear, that flight or fight syndrome. But at some point in time, they stop serving us. And why does that occur? Because we get comfortable with it. Whether it's for a short-term payoff, such as getting sympathy, right? Attention. There's a short-term payoff that comes with that. But as the term denotes, it wears off at some point in time. We have brainwashed ourselves or trained ourselves into thinking that that's all we deserve. That we can't do better. That we can't move past it. That there's no hope. And so what happens is we get stuck in that place. We can't move to our next. We can't elevate. And we become dissatisfied with our situation. And that's an indication that it's no longer serving you. You're comfortable in it, but there's always that inkling, that little gnawing in you that you deserve better. That little gnawing in you that you can do better. That little gnawing in you that this is not where you're supposed to be. You're dissatisfied with life or your situation. And you begin to feel this emptiness because that short-term payoff of attention, sympathy, indignation, that righteous indignation that you initially feel, all that starts to wear off. So how do you banish this? Well, before I even go into that, I always got to go back to the Bible. And when I think about letting go of things that don't serve you, and as I was preparing for today, I was led to Genesis 50:15. I was led really to Genesis and the story of Joseph, which goes really beyond chapter 50. But if those of you who remember the story of Joseph was the youngest of brothers. His brothers were jealous of him. So they devised this plan where they were going to try to kill him. They threw him in a pit. But one brother talked the others out of it and suggested that they sell Joseph into slavery. While in slavery, his master's wife accused him of trying to have relations with her, falsely accused him. He was thrown into prison. And when you look at Joseph's journey, God's favor was with him throughout, right? Threw him into prison. Even in prison, God elevated and favored him. Joseph started interpreting dreams, eventually interpreting Pharaoh's dreams, and Pharaoh promoted him. He rose to power. Pharaoh set him not over just his house and his people, but over all the land of Egypt. And part of what Joseph's interpretation of the dream was that there was going to be a great famine. So Joseph was, when he was set over Egypt, in 7 years, he was gathering food. He was preparing for this famine. He was setting it in the different cities and towns. Then what happened? The famine came. And those who set about to kill Joseph, who set him or sold him into slavery, actually had to come back to him and ask him for food, right? Now, when Joseph is gathering all this, you think he's worried about his brothers? If anybody had a reason, was justified in the whole nonsense of anger, to be indignant, any of those things, it was Joseph. It was Joseph, because Joseph went through some stuff. He went through some stuff at the hands of another. But when we look at Joseph, Joseph didn't have time to wallow. He just kept on operating in his purpose, operating and moving forward. And God's favor was upon him, that God actually turned that around for his good. Joseph was promoted and set over all of Egypt. So what I say to you is this, that God can't turn things for your good if you're too busy holding on to that which does not serve you. And I think what's really illuminative is in Genesis 41:51, when he was discussing his son's name. Joseph said, For God made me forget all my hardship at all my father's house. God made me forget all my hardship at all my father's house. We are told so often to forgive our enemies. You hear that all the time, and forgiveness is not just about your enemies, but it's for you. And that is absolutely true. Absolutely true. But we don't hear so much about the second part, which is to forget. Forget. So all those things that you're holding on to, anger, guilt, shame, doubt, when you're holding on with such a tight fist, you can't receive all that God has for you. God is saying, open your hands. Even if you got prime like this, open your hand. Some of us are holding on to things that God is trying so hard to tear us away from, whether it be people, emotion, things, or places. You can't receive with a closed hand. You can't receive with a closed hand. And that's when we start to feel that frustration, that hopelessness, like there's nothing better. And can I tell you, the Bible says there is no shame and condemnation in Jesus Christ. So if the one who created all things, who loves you beyond measure, does not hold shame or condemnation over you, then neither should you hold it over yourself. It serves no purpose. It serves no purpose. These things that you are holding on to become, as I said before, and as we always hear, they become as cancer. They eat away at you. They reinforce that negative outlook, that negative perception, those negative feelings. So how do you banish them? How do you banish them? Well, first, write them down. Write them down. All these things that are crowding in on you and weighing you down and are attaching themselves to you as weights around your ankle, write them down. And then ask yourself, what happens if you let them go? What happens if you let them go? Is the world going to stop? Is there going to be a catastrophe? Is anything presently in your life that is presently serving a purpose, good, attached to that? If not, give it over. Number 3, give it over and release it. Give it over and leave it. Intentionally open your hand. Pry those fingers open. Open your hand. You know, we say we trust God, but are you demonstrating it? Open your hand and adopt for an attitude of gratefulness. Gratefulness that it occurred because it taught you something. It revealed something. But gratefulness that you are no longer there. Gratefulness for the opportunities that are now available for you to receive with an open hand. An attitude of gratefulness, not looking behind, but looking before. Where you are going. That vision you are trying to succeed, to achieve. And I'm not going to say trying, that vision that you will achieve. And 5, focus and give your energy to that. Focus and give your energy to that which makes you feel good about yourself and to that which builds you up rather than tearing you down. I go back to our last lesson in Ecclesiastes 3. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. The season of that which is no longer serving you is up. Its time is up. It is time now to move into your next, and it is time now to receive the new. Let go of the past because you can't change it. What happened, happened. What was said, was said. What was done, was done. You can't change it. But you do have a choice to move past it. You do have the ability to move past it. So that is this episode of Banishing Self-Sabotage. It's an exercise. It doesn't come easy all the time. Heck, it doesn't come easy most of the time. But it is doable. It is doable. Open your hand so God can give you all that He has for you. Have an absolutely wonderful day, everyone. I am Monique White at Triumph Services, a coaching and consulting firm. If you want to connect with me, be sure to push that connection button, that book button right there at the top of the page, and it will take you to a scheduling calendar, and we can connect and get you started on your next season, your next time. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye now.